Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue.
That time, the only way you could understand geometry so complex was studying your own structure, how this body is made, and observing the planets and astronomical phenomena. So, at one time, yes, they controlled a few things, but I think all secret schools are overly exaggerated. And don't worry, Aniket, huh? What's his name? Aniket, don't worry, they're not controlling anything much these days. Donald Trump is controlling a lot of things.
Sadhguru, second question from social media. Aryan Sen asking this question. How important is a man's semen for physical, mental and spiritual well-being? Can wasting our semen damage us spiritually?
I'll say very odd question, but at the same time I guess I get it. In Western religion, I know they talk about that stuff I'm interested still. That's…
Well, semen is the basis of your physical existence, whether you're a man or a woman. You have come into existence because that is 50% of the ingredient. Yes? Well, we have skin, we have epithelial cells, we have hair, we have many other aspects of body, heart, liver, kidney, so many things. All these cells are of a certain potency in their own way, but semen is of an extraordinary level of potency, it can create a whole new life. Well, today you can take an epithelial cell and do a lot of things in a laboratory and maybe we can clone you, all right? So the potential is here also, but it is not in the same dynamics as it is in a cell, which you're referring to as semen. So in the yogic culture, this is called as virya. Virya also refers to what you call as vajra, which means stability, or diamond, which is the hardest thing. So in the human body, virya is considered to be like vajra. That means it is one of the most potent things if you know how to use it. Well, how to use it means you can use it to produce a child, that's one thing. Well, if this question is coming because you are using it to spill it on the JNU bed sheets, okay? If that's how you're using it, well, that's your compulsion, you're doing whatever you're doing. This is not something to be judged morally, that's not the point, it's a question of what is the level of compulsion that one has. But anything in this body, can it be transformed into a different level of function? Absolutely. Not just semen, just everything in this body can be transformed. See, suppose I gave you all soup-making ingredients, same soup-making ingredients to every one of you. Do you believe all of you will produce the same soup? No. You will produce 500 varieties of soups, those same ingredients. That's all that's happened with us right now. All of us are fundamentally same ingredients, but see how different each one of us are. Different soups. Well, if I give you soup-making ingredients, either you can make a great soup or a lousy soup. Depends what kind of skills you have, isn't it? So this goes for everything, not just for semen. Every dimension of your body and your mind, you can transform into something tremendous, or you can make it mediocre, or you can make it a serious problem. Every aspect of your life. That goes for this aspect of life also. This same energy, see, people are making it literal translations, but if you want to produce a certain, let's say, epithelial cells, how much energy the body spends on it? And if you want to produce a cell which you call a semen, how much energy body spends is very different. This can be scientifically established. So, when you're investing so much energy in that, obviously it has a potency if you know how to explore. But are you competent to explore? Are you capable of exploring? Do you have the necessary sadhana and guidance to do that? That's a big question mark.
Thank you, Sadhguru. Now we'll open the house for our wonderful and patient audience to shoot their questions. Just a humble request that do not shout out your questions, look for the mic, and please keep one question, one person. We have people with mics, so you'll have to locate your mics.
Guruji, yes. Namaskaram, Guruji. Guruji, you said that
Little closer, if you can hold it
Yeah.
this way.
only less than 1% of the people tap into their genius. You have always told us that turn inward. So how do we turn inward and what do we look at?
No, I didn't get that. Can you hold the microphone like
I'm saying that only 1% of the genius, only 1% of the people tap into their genius. And you say that you need to turn inward to tap into their genius. How do we turn inward and what do we see?
Well, there are two things mixed up in this.
I wonder if he'll say, well, for one, the reason why we look inwards is to understand ourselves, so that we can better control ourselves or function ourselves. Because Sadhguru always talks about how, when we're born, we don't understand how to, we didn't come with a manual, we don't know how to control our bodies, our emotions, our minds, and all that. So, the better we can control our body, mind, emotion, memory, and all of that, the better we are externally, because we're able to control our bodies and our bodies not controlling us, so that we can focus. Like Sadhguru talks about how Swami Vivekananda's really good ability is, and I've read this, I looked it up too, he can understand things in just a completely different level than a lot of other people, and when he can read stuff and can understand, he has great focus, and that's something that you can do if you look inwards, to understand yourself, understand your mind, how your thoughts and processes works, and then you can make them work with you instead of against you.
To unfold human genius, you need both external ambience and internal ambience. Internal ambience is just this: you must come to ease. You must come to total ease with life. Most people are going like this all the time. You have to come to ease. Coming to ease means, somebody was asking me in one of the colleges, how do we know we are at ease? In the yoga center, we have a cobra test. You know about this already, huh? You already know about it?
Some of them.
Some of them know. See, most of the venomous creatures are like this, particularly cobras are like this, and the bees are like that, and even the spiders are like that. They don't see you, they don't hear you much. Cobras are stone deaf, snakes are mostly stone deaf, they can't hear a thing. But they feel your chemistry. If you go into the forest and just pick up a cobra like this, not holding by the head and all that, simply like this, he will simply come without any reaction. I think you saw… showed a quick image there, where I'm holding a king cobra in my hand, not by the head, just like this. He's not a pet, he's a wild snake, okay? He was with us only for 2 days, then we left him in the mountains because he came there, I caught him. So, if a king cobra bites you, it'll give you somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes to live. He has enough venom to kill an elephant, okay? That king cobra that you saw is nearly 13 feet long. He has enough venom to kill an elephant. But I'm holding him like this, he's simply there. Because he only sensing your chemistry. If you show a little bit of anxiety, he'll go for you, because he senses danger. Your anxiety is danger for him. So we can put you through a cobra test whether you have come to ease or not. Even if you come to ease, whether the social situation will allow you to explore your genius or not, that is also there. When you have a very dogmatic social structure around you, when you have very dogmatic religions around you, then they won't allow you to explore your genius. They will make sure that you stick to the norms that they've established. So, creating a social ambience and an internal ambience is important. I think today you can escape from any kind of dogmatic situations or compulsive situations around you, you can leave that place. It was not possible to leave that place 100, 200 years ago. But today, if you find a situation is completely not conducive for your way of existence, you can leave that place and transport yourself to another place and live there, isn't it? This was not possible in the past. But now, you have to come to ease. But today, whole lot of you are taking pride. You're looking at your lack of attention, your stress, like qualifications. I'm stressed. It's supposed to be a qualification or what? It's almost become like this, especially I'm seeing in the management sector. If you're a CEO, at least you must have an ulcer. Otherwise, you're not a good CEO, you're not working hard enough. This is because we are thinking stress is a natural phenomena. No, stress is just your inability to handle your own system. Yes? You do not know how to handle your body, how to handle your chemistry, how to handle your thought, your emotion, and you're calling this is happening because of something else. No. Outside situations, people will create the way they know life. It's for you to create the inner situations the way you want it, isn't it? The world will never happen 100% your way, never ever. But at least this one person must happen your way, isn't it so? Right now, this person is not happening your way, that's the big problem. The reason why I'm here today is to provide tools or technologies for well-being, so that at least within yourself you're the way you want to be. If you had a choice as to how to be within yourself, would you choose to be joyful or miserable? You must tell me right now, I'm going to bless you. Choice for yourself is very clear, isn't it? If there is a choice between pleasantness and unpleasantness, you want pleasantness for yourself. What you want for your neighbor may be debatable. But what you want for yourself is 100% clear. Coming to ease, there are many ways. People… this question can be asked, ease means people will say peace. This happened, can I tell you a joke?
Uh-oh.
Are you okay? Because many of you looking so serious, I'm wondering.
There's gonna talk about the Islamic person that says peace is the greatest greeting, I believe.
In JNU, there are jokes or only serious? Hello?
All the time, jokes.
Okay. So, Shankaran Pillai was a abusive husband.
Real quick, sorry. This person he keeps talking about, when I'm listening to his… I believe it's both the audiobooks that I have of his. He keeps talking about this person. Is this like a person that he creates, that he just throws in any story that he wants to tell? Because he talks about how he bought a yacht. So I was like, wait, is this a real person that he's telling a story about, that's, you know, like a story that's been passed on in the past? Or is this just a person he creates that he says, okay, let me create a story, and he just names this person? This is like the person that he names. Because the last story I remember him telling in the audiobook, can't remember which one, whether it's the karma or inner engineering. I think it's karma, because he talks about how he married this woman. This woman loves him because he gets a lot of money, but comes to find out they crashed this yacht in an island, and you know, the woman was panicking, but Shankaran was, you know, calm. And it's like, why are you calm? It's like, don't worry, the tax people will find me. It's like, yeah, you know, I went to college, I didn't really graduate, so I borrowed more money, I bought a car, I borrowed more money, I bought a house, I borrowed more money, I bought this yacht. And one thing I've learned in life is the fact that, don't worry, tax people will find you, because no matter where I go in the country, they always find me. He says, so don't worry, the tax people will find us in this island. So I'm guessing this is just, again, is this just a made-up person that Sadhguru likes to use as an example, or is this an actual person? Maybe there's an actual person that he knows that it's this and he just like using his name. Let me know.
He was always abusing his wife, sometimes physical abuse, sometimes sexual abuse, sometimes verbal abuse on a daily basis, everything. But the wife was always just calm, undisturbed. One day he freaked on her, but she was undisturbed. Then he asked, how do you do this? I'm abusing you. Every day I say something nasty, some days I do something nasty to you, but I've never seen you throwing up. You're always peaceful. How do you do it? She said, I clean the toilet. What? If I abuse you, you clean the toilet? She says, yes. If you abuse me, I clean the toilet. When I physically abuse you,
Oh,
she said, I will clean 2 toilets. If I sexually abuse you, she said, I'll clean all the toilets in the house. But cleaning a toilet, how does it keep you peaceful? She said, I use your toothbrush. There are many ways of handling it.
We now, there are 100 of students outside the auditorium, so we'll now take up a question from outside.
Hello sir, my name is Mohammad Akmal and I'm a student of JNU. My question to you is that I have some other question in my mind, but right now my question is that you said when you were in United States, you always said there that India is the biggest living democracy. But now after 4 years you have stopped saying this. What made you to stop saying this thing now? Why you have stopped saying this, that now we are not the biggest living democracy?
No, I think you're taking 4 years literally. Not because of these 4 years. I am seeing we are also getting organized like United States. Either I am a Republican or a Democrat. My father was a Republican, my grandfather was a Republican, so I am also a Republican. This is what a Republican said. Then another person asked, a Democrat asked him, suppose your father was a jackass and your grandfather was a jackass, what would you be? He said, I would be a Democrat. So, United States was unfortunately divided like this for last few decades.
and still today. And seems like it's worse.
But that was not so in India. But now I would say in the last probably 10 years or so, it's becoming so vitiated, everybody belongs to some party. This is destruction of democracy. Everybody should look at it, not before. 3 months before election, you should start evaluating what have these people done. Have they done something for the nation? Have they not done something for the nation? Should you give them another chance or should you not give them another chance? Is something that you must evaluate just before election, not right through the 5 years. There's no sense to that. You must evaluate according to your intelligence. Today there's information, all right? There is enough information. Using that information according to your intelligence, not driven by your peers, not driven by your party, not driven by your father or grandfather who was a jackass, by your intelligence.
The problem is the sheer fact that he is absolutely right. There's information out there. It's not necessarily disinformation is necessarily the problem. The problem is the sheer fact that this information can be there. The problem is you are selective of the information that you get. If you're left-leaning, you will believe in everything left-leaning and disregard the right. If you're right-leaning, or I'm sorry, if you're far left, just anything on the left, well, not really anything on the left, just far left, you'll believe in everything on the left. If you're far right, you'll believe in anything on the right. Again, the centrist left and right tends to be reasonable because they tend to want to hear both sides of the story. It's the most extreme peoples that will only listen to their own side and whatever they believe to be true. And that is the problem. That is, I think, growing in the United States. Is they only listen to what they want to hear and disregards everything else because there's no way that's true. And that's kind of weird. I think I'm hoping that Sadhguru talks up. I mean, it seems like he's touching up on here, which is the issue that I kind of have. This is the reason why I say I may be right-leaning, but that does not mean I'll vote strictly Republican or strictly Democrat or strictly whatever the hell is in the middle, because I don't know what the party is. But I will. The only time I will encourage people to vote is for, if you only have a two-party system, get that third party started. Even if you don't agree with them, and you don't agree with the other two that you have options, just to start getting people to realize that there is a third party available. Instead of having two party, you can have a three-party system. I think Britain has that, I believe. I've heard that anyway, I don't know. But it's better than having freaking two choices. It's like vanilla or chocolate. You know, what about strawberry? What about, I don't know what else is out there. At least you'll have more options, and it's not completely, hopefully not too terrible.
According to your understanding, you must vote. Only then this franchise has some meaning. This is why secret ballot. Already we decided this is right, this is left. What is the point of voting? We already know we can just count you straight away. The entire exercise of election, it is one of the largest phenomena on the planet, Indian election process. It's a phenomenal and fantastic process. It reaches the remotest village in the country and it's reasonably organized, believe me. In spite of all the chaos, it is pretty well organized. And what is the point if well beforehand, 5 years ago itself I am determined which party I am going to vote to, what is the point of this exercise? What is the point of a secret ballot? The idea is nobody should know who you voted for, isn't it? It's very important if you want to keep democracy.
I'm wondering if he's also trying to say here that obviously, you know, it's talking about your great-grandfather and your grandfather and your father and whatnot. It's not to just stay so strict just because your father, your great-grandfather, and so on and so forth is voting one side that you automatically vote that side. That is not democracy. And that the fact that you are already so stringent in your ways, again, this is what I talk about, like far left or far right. It's because this is how they vote. Not necessarily because of their fathers or anything like that, but because they become so selective of what they listen to the news and what they choose to believe and what they choose to accept as the truth and everything else is lies, that they only vote this way because this is the only truth ever and everything else is lies. Even though every other fact contradicts what I believe, it is wrong. Those are not facts. Those are lies. And the truths that I believe is only the truths, of course.
Sadhguru looks in complete mood to continue this conversation. However, we are running very low on time, so probably we'll take just one more question from the audience and we close the event.
Hello,
Really?
Sadhguru. My name is Tamanna.
Little louder, please.
My question to you is, we see quite a generation gap between our generation and our parents' generation. And it sometimes so happens that
Hey,
we
no, not me, huh? No gap between you and me. I'm much younger than you.
it sometimes so happens that we want something out of our life and they don't necessarily agree with it and we end up in a conflict. And we sometimes even curb our desires just to see them happy. So how do we deal with that conflict?
See, please sit down. Thank you.
How would I address that? For one, for me, of course you want to guide your child to the right direction. Most parents have wisdom. They've lived their lives. They understand the world better than a child does because you've lived a longer life. But at the same time, you have to let your child make mistakes. That's assuming if they make a mistake, but obviously they have to let your child make decisions for themselves. They cannot always rely on you. Whenever you're gone or not there, if you've always had a grips on them and their decision making, they will not be able to make decisions for themselves later on in lives. Whatever they choose, even if you know it's a mistake, sometimes you have to let them learn the hard way. Because obviously you try to teach them to learn the easy way, as I like to call it. You tell them the bad decisions and stuff like that throughout life. But sometimes some people have to learn the hard way. You don't want to go up to this like, I told you so, but they have to learn the hard way. and you gotta let them make decisions in their life. You have to live them. You have to let them live their lives. I don't know. It's kind of it's something that you obviously have to talk to your parents about and say, hey, look, you know, I'm an adult now. I have to make decisions. I have to be able to make decisions, and whether it's a mistake or not, I have to learn my lesson for that. You know, and hopefully your parents are not so strict and say that nope. But you know,
This is not a problem with your
yeah,
generation.
of course not.
This is
It's
a
always
problem,
been.
unfortunately, with every generation. I think it's very silly that every generation has the same problem.
Yeah.
If we are in a learning mode, at least we must have a new problem, isn't it? Every generation has the same problem. Though they were also youth just 25, 30 years ago, somehow they suddenly act like they landed, just like as they are today. So, because your parents are not here, I can't talk to them, so we'll talk to you. If you want to craft your life the way you want, and what you want, if it's not in concurrence with your parents or the society in which you live in or the university in which you're studying, it can happen. What you choose may not be in line not only with your parents' choices, may not be in line with your peers' choices, may not be in line with the institution's choices, may not be in line with the society in which you live. So if you want to do your own thing, you must understand there will be a price to pay.
Learn the hard way.
Only thing you're complaining about is how to have what I want without paying a price. There's no such life.
Yes, absolutely, 100% agree. Also, another thing, sorry, I want to add real quick, is the fact that parents think they know better because they've lived a longer life and they've experienced roughly the same thing, which could be true and could be false. Sometimes you are doing exactly what they did and they in fact know better. Sometimes they think they know what you're doing that they've did, but you know better, and then you've avoided that trap, and they your parents look like a fool a little bit for that time being.
If you want to do what you want, and if what you want is not in line with the larger interests of what is around you, then they will make you pay a price. If what you want means so much to you, you must pay the price. But if you find the price is too much for what little you want to do, you will step back naturally. It is like going to the market, you know. You went and want to buy a few flowers, that guy says $2,000 for flowers. You say, no, I want flowers, but no, because he's asking too big a price. This is so with every step in our life. When we want to do something, there will be a price attached to it. We must evaluate, do I want to pay this price? What I want, does it mean so much to me that I'm willing to pay this price, or I'm not willing to pay this price? This is individual. There is no standard treatment for everybody. This is individual. Some people want it so badly, they're willing to pay any price. For some people, it's a passing interest, so they will drop it and they'll go on. There's nothing wrong with both. Both are fine.
So long as you understand the consequences of your decision and you do not blame anyone else for the decision that you make. I feel in America that there's a lot of baby adults, I don't know how else to describe it, that they do not know how to handle, wrong decisions they make in life. They blame other people. It's like, I shouldn't be failing. It's not my fault. It's society's fault. It's your fault. It's this group of people's fault. It's the reason why I'm failing. I shouldn't be failing. And I think people like that remain children for a long time because they don't understand. They don't understand that they made a choice and their choice led to a wrong decision, so they continue to make the wrong choices, or they don't learn lessons from… they don't learn the hard way, so they continue to make the same mistakes, essentially.
The questions are interesting and intriguing. So we'll
Hey,
ask
you didn't say
Sadhguru.
anything about the answers, huh?
And we do not disagree about the answers.
She's
They were-
only praising JNU, she's leaving me out.
Isn't that my primary duty? Sadhguru, if we can take some more, because we all are buzzing with questions in our heads.
I'm okay.
Anima,
All right.
can I take… Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
And not like this, like you've seen Lady Gaga?
question is regarding the education system, which is followed everywhere, especially in India. Your Lordship, sorry, I'm a lawyer. So, Sadhguru, my question is, what exactly is the ideal education system that we should have in a country so that we can explore every dimension of life, keeping intact the material needs of the country, everyone who are there around?
Ooh.
Thank you.
See, there is no such system that you can create in a limited amount of time that human life is, and that too, education is a certain part of our life. To create that you can experience every dimension of life for everybody, no, it won't work like that. Somebody is interested in academics, they should go one way. Somebody just wants to earn a living, they must go another way. Somebody else has some other kind of skills, they must go another way. I think early on, I'm saying at the age of 12, by 12, everybody is reasonably literate. They can read at least one or two languages in this country, 2 languages. You can read English language and you can read your local language, whatever your mother tongue is. These 2 languages you can read and grasp what is written in a paper. To this level, we must bring every child before they are 12. We should not cramp them with too many things, just language and perception. What I read, I understand, that's all. This capability if you bring by 12, then you can do evaluation, who should go for skill-based thing, who should go for little higher level of expertise in the same skills, who should go for academic pursuits. This needs to happen. If this doesn't happen, everybody is being pushed through the extruder of academics. People are just committing suicide, not 1 or 2. In 2016, some 17,600 youth below 18 years of age commit suicide. 7,000 and odd are below 15 years of age. If 12, 13, 14-year-old boys and girls start killing themselves, are we not doing something fundamentally wrong in our society? Hello? Yes. Not grown-up people. 12, 13-year-old boys and girls who must be exuberant life, at that time they want to take their life, obviously we are doing something very fundamentally wrong, isn't it? And unfortunately, 90% of these suicides are education related. Few other things are family, something else, some other issues, but 90% of them are education related. Definitely, we need to revisit this education as to how to do education. We are trying to put everybody through the same process. Not everybody is equipped to go through the same process. It's very important. It's…
Sorry. And in the United States, it's kind of the same thing. Like Sadhguru's talking about here, like everyone's being pushed to the same process, and I think boys, more in particular, they're from what I'm hearing, they're built a little bit differently. They want to do activity type things. They don't do well sitting down in a desk, sitting or reading books or taking tests or whatnot. They want to be more active with what they do, and put like Sadhguru said about the skill base, where maybe they're crafting or building, doing something with physical activity as opposed to just sitting down. And a lot of the in particular in the United States, I believe boys are kind of failing in that, and they're not going into colleges as much anymore. But at the same time, there may be a lot of people going to colleges, but there are a lot of people going in debt that goes into colleges. But yeah, it's very much understandable. I think there definitely needs to be change. Again, very interesting that it seems like it's the same in the West as well. I don't know if it's happening in Western Europe or not. I'm sure it is, I think. But perhaps maybe Western Europe has a better grips in terms of their education system than United States, because United States is
most, cruel way of handling a child.
Namaste, I'm from outside.
Where are you? Oh.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. First is, how do we choose a good career? And secondly, what do you think basically, how is technology, or more specifically artificial intelligence, helping in education?
Okay. We'll answer the second question first because in the in the last 2 years, people are inviting me to speak in all kinds of international conferences about artificial intelligence. When they first invited me, I didn't understand, why am I being invited? I said, I am not an artificial intelligence, I am a natural intelligence, why are you calling me for artificial intelligence? Then they said their problem is, everybody is worrying if artificial intelligence comes, we will lose our jobs. I said, that means you're going to have a holiday, which you're always looking for. What is the problem if the machine does all the work on this planet? How fantastic it is for human beings. I think if machines start doing all the menial jobs, already just see, suppose everything that you have built in this JNU, let's say you are building it, you had to just build it with a pickaxe and a crowbar, how much work it would have taken? Because machines and other things have come, how much work has been taken off? Because of that, your intelligence has found more opportunity. If you were just wielding a crowbar, only your muscles would have grown. So now, right now, most of the work that you're doing and most of education that you're teaching in this world is essentially about gathering of data. Accumulate data, analyze it, assimilate it in a certain way and throw it at people in different ways. This you call as education. But now this Google lady she knows more than anybody around you, yes? She seems to know everything. You ask her anything without batting an eyelid she's telling you any damn thing in the world, yes or no? So, a time is coming, it's just a question of 5–10 years, where what you will learn in 5 years of research, a machine will process it. If you feed the data, it will process it and tell you in 5 minutes. This happened to me when I was very young. For the first time, I saw a calculator, a Panasonic or a Sony calculator. At that time, it was just around 100 rupees, a flatbed calculator. Probably you've not seen such basic calculators today. It was very simple. Then first time they showed me, tuk, arithmetic, chuck. Then the first thing I thought was, then why the hell am I going to this stupid math class? If this damn machine can add for me, multiply for me, divide for me, cos theta, sin theta, everything, why the hell are they torturing me with this? I said, just give me this one thing, I won't come to the math class. I'll give you all the answers you want. Give me any problem, I'll give you the answer. It took so many years, over 45–50 years. Now, that calculator has become so complex, it knows more than you can know in your entire lifetime. It's great, isn't it? It's great, absolutely great, because as physical work was taken away from you by the machines, physical machines, mechanical machines, now your intellectual work is being taken away by another kind of machine. I think it's fantastic time coming, you don't have to bother about gathering information, processing it, struggling with, misinterpreting it, misunderstanding it. Nothing, everything processed and it'll come out clean. Now what will the human beings do? That's a big question. This is what the caveman also thought when you showed him an earth mover. What will I do if this earth mover comes? Well, that caveman is probably in JNU now. Yes. If there was no machines, you would be also moving a rock somewhere, isn't it? Because mechanical machines came, today you are in the university. Tomorrow, if an intellectual machine comes, anything that you can do in terms of data processing in your intellect, machines will do better than you in the next 5 to 10 years' time. And it will not be one big supercomputer, it'll be in your pocket. It'll be that small a machine which will do more than all these brains put together in terms of intellectual assimilation of things. Information, assimilation and projection. This the machine will do better than you, it'll give you permutations and combinations. All research done in 3 days. You put the data, boom, it will tell you what is the conclusion. So, people are worried they will
There you
lose their
go.
jobs. I'm glad they will lose their jobs because I think a great time is coming for humanity that we don't have to do physical work, we don't have to do intellectual work. Only now you will explore other dimensions of intelligence within the human being. Intellect is only the surface of your intelligence. I know this may gather a lot of… Will you give me 2 minutes to explain this? Because what you call as intellect is called buddhi in the yogic culture. Buddhi, your intellect, I'll ask you a question, those of you who are awake and asleep, you must answer this question. If I ask you, you want a sharp intellect or a dull intellect, what's your choice? Sharp. So obviously, intellect is a cutting instrument, isn't it? You want it sharp like a knife. Now, what is happening with our education system and the way we're building the society is, we are using a knife to do everything. Somehow, this is coming to me quite a few times in the last few months, because I think once again, after many years, I'm once again riding motorcycles much more than what I've done in the last 30 years, so these memories are coming back to me. I was riding all over the country without any purpose, simply end to end, till I hit the national border, I went and then turned back and rode in another direction. I just only calculated the money I had in my pocket and the kilometers to cover, okay? So one of those… sometimes, this is something for you to do research on, is there are times when I rode 3 nights and 3 days continuously, without hitting anything, without falling drowsy or sleepy, anything. I did certain things with my system because somebody… you asked the question, can semen be transformed into something? If you do certain things with your system, it gets energized to such a level of alertness that 3 nights and 3 days, those days when roads were what they were and motorcycle was just 250cc SD, okay, Java motorcycle. It's not like today, some big stuff, and it's not like highways, 4-lane highways, nothing. All single roads full of potholes, backbreaking. But I would ride continuously up to 72 hours to 75 hours non-stop. Only gas station to gas station, gas station to gas station. So one night I'm riding full night and I'm somewhere in… I'm not very sure where, somewhere between Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Early morning I came and parked near a dhaba, thought I'll have a tea and rest for some time and move on. My chain had become slack. I don't know if you all still motorcycle or you're all metro people. So, I never allow anybody to touch my motorcycle because I'm always on it, so I don't trust anybody, I do everything myself from engine work to everything. But chain had become slack, I was sitting there, full night of riding. Then I saw Mubarak Mechanical Works, handwritten sign. I saw this and I saw a strapping young youth. I said, hey, can you tighten my chain? Because tightening a chain is not some great technology, but hands become messy. So I thought, let him do it for me. So then he said yes, and he came full enthusiasm. Then I saw in his hands, he just had a chisel and a hammer. I said, wait, what are you doing? He said, no, I can do it. I said, wait, you don't have any tools? Then I walked into his little shack, which is his garage. I went inside, there are only a few chisels and bigger and smaller hammers. This guy does everything with a chisel and hammer. Maybe he can do it, but after he does it, that's the last time you're going to fix that machine again. After that, it's done, okay? I said, you don't touch my motorcycle. Why I'm saying this is, Right now, our education system is like this. We are doing everything with one dimension of our intelligence, which is the intellect. Intellect is good only if it's sharp, otherwise it's no good. If you use a sharp instrument to do everything, then obviously you will be in tatters. This is why people are 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age, they still don't know how to handle their thought and emotion. When are you going to learn? Are you going to live for 10,000 years or so? When is it that you're going to learn how to handle your thought and emotion? You may call this stress, you may call this anxiety, you may call this misery, you may call this madness. Essentially, you do not know how to handle your own thought and emotion, that's all, isn't it so? This is because you're going on one wheel of intelligence. There are many wheels of intelligence, only one wheel is spinning, others are all stuck or you never explode. So it's very important that if artificial intelligence comes, everything that you can do intellectually, a little machine will do. Now I think human beings will explore other dimensions. I think I will become very significant. The sooner the artificial intelligence comes, the more significant I will become, because then they will come, what else can I do? There are many more things you can do.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here with the video, and I'm gonna start talking now. I actually let it run for a long time. So anyways, there's a couple of things I wanted to say in between, but I thought I'd let it run. I was gonna say her question was kind of like, you know, whenever… It's kind of been said with a friend that I talked to about how there are, and I think in Amazon, there's machines that'll grab packages and scan it and know where to put it. And now those are taking jobs away from, you know, factory work, or not factory workers, like, well, factory workers, I suppose, where they themselves scan the boxes and move it where it needs to go. Now they're going to lose their jobs because these machines are doing that for them. It's a manual task. Then I remember working in the post office where, you know, you just grab this pile of mail, you put it in this machine, it'll scan it, it'll sort it out for you. But the thing is, what you had to do is you had to move that pile of mail into the machine. Once they have a computer for that, or a robot for that, well, that job's gone. Then anyways, it shoots this mail into another box, bins, it sorts it out to where it needs to go. Well, you know, you have to, whenever it gets full, you have to grab that bin, remove it, and replace the bin. Again, a manual job. Once that job's taken by a machine, you know, then they're going to lose that job. And this is something I kind of made an argument for with my friend, talking about how these machines are replacing manual jobs. Like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of jobs that are being lost by these machines, but you also got to look at the fact that all the other jobs that are created. Look at YouTube now. YouTube was never a job. There's so many YouTubers out there that are making pretty good money on YouTube. I don't know about now. It's, you know, it's always been bumpy with YouTube, but, and even probably more so now. I noticed the income is cut in half pretty much, at least for me. Even though, you know, I really don't make a lot on YouTube. But yeah, it's YouTube as a job, or people who do TikTok or was it Instagram? I've heard people like they create a following, and what ends up happening is people pay those people to advertise their product. I mean, you know, it seems scummy, kinda, but not really. You know, you can't fault people for trying to make a living. Because obviously, you know, I remember, was it Jacksepticeye? I don't remember if it's him or someone else. Anyways, that they've never had a regular job. No, it was someone else actually, not Jacksepticeye. It's Markiplier's friend. He never held a regular job. He only knew YouTube, and that's it. That worries me. If YouTube doesn't work out, he doesn't know how to do anything else. But anyways, this proves the point that other opportunities will arise. And kind of like what Sadhguru is talking about, where we can explore other dimensions. While this is still stuck to work-related stuff, to where, you know, we're not doing manual jobs. Now we're doing entertainment, artistry, different types of venues of money making. And I think the woman's question also worries about the fact that, you know, they're worried about all the jobs being taken by machines. So what's humans going to do to make money so they can buy food? And I think Sadhguru will probably point out the fact that if all jobs was taken by machines, humans don't have to worry about making money anymore, because the machines will do all the work. And it will hopefully provide all the food. And then how he talks about the many dimensions, and it's very much right. And it's something that Sadhguru and I said a little bit earlier in this video about how we know how to handle certain external things, but never internally, because we never had enough time. We're always worried about what's the next food, what I need to do at my job, what do I need to do at home, do I have to cut the grass, do I need a haircut? Yes, I do. Do I need to shave? Absolutely. You know, just all these little things that functions externally that we never have enough time to look inwards. Now, if we don't have a job, that frees up a lot of time to do inner engineering. We can look internally to see how it makes us happy, how to live life in a different way. It's kind of, I don't know if people understand Sadhguru in terms when he uses dimensions. I didn't at first, and when he was saying different dimensions, I'm like, what does he mean by that? Just different ways of living life. And when he used dimensions, it throws me off at first, but I think I understand what he means by that to some degree at least. So now that you, instead of living life like working a job, you can live life like exploring your hobbies, exploring nature, exploring, you know, castles. I mean, these are very low level, I guess you could call, dimensions of life, but they're still small dimensions of life, because you go out there, you learn some things about it, and you sometimes learn a little bit about yourself, about, oh, I like this, I like that, and what makes you happy to some degree, even though these are temporary happiness and not the ultimate goal of happiness, not true revelation. No, that's not the right word. Oh my gosh, revelation. Anyways, not true happiness. Let's put it that way. And then, of course, if you go to, I don't know everything about the different dimensions of life that Guru talks about. The thing that I can understand and be practical about is being happy and content with yourself without having external stimulation to make you happy. And I think that's what consumerism in America and most of the Western world, and pretty much almost everywhere now, or for the most part everywhere, that to make themselves happy, they have to be doing something, they have to be buying something, they have to be eating something, something has to happen for them to be happy, and they're not just content with themselves and with what they got. And that is one dimension of life I think Sadhguru would also say, is being happy and content with yourself. Because everyone is so worried about external things, that external things affects them. I think he also explained that in this video as well. So anyway, I'm going to pause right here because it's running a lot longer, and we still have a few more minutes, not too long, for the last part. So anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.